This is a minimally edited series where I talk about the vignettes in biology that make me happy. If you want the highly edited stuff, check out the main channel. If you're watching this video, you've probably already seen the highly influential animation Inner Life of the Cell by Harvard illustrating the walking pattern of the motor protein kinesin. And if you haven't, what are you doing? Go watch that. Motor proteins are a class of protein whose job it is to move cargo to and from the nucleus. There are two principal cargo transport motors: kinesin, which typically moves cargo away from the nucleus, and dynein, which typically moves cargo towards the nucleus. And of course, it is now known and recognized that these motors have an absolutely joyful method of moving. They walk. They throw their little feet in front of one another, taking one step at a time on microtubule railways, just doing their job, getting molecular cargo where it needs to be. And it's fun to remember that if there is a designer, they likely took engineering advice from Exhibit. What's more interesting to me is asking the question of why or how did this mechanism evolve? Motor proteins are not the only proteins that travel. In fact, polymerases, the enzymes responsible for copying your DNA, also travel some serious distance. DNA polymerases slide across your DNA, copying several hundred DNA bases per second, which ends up working out to about a micron per second. For comparison, the fastest kinesins travel at 2 microns per second, the slowest at 0.2 microns per second. If kinesins were human-sized, they'd either be blazing down the highway at 100 miles per hour, or at the very slowest, a fast-paced run. DNA polymerases are somewhere in the middle, at a speed of about 50 miles per hour. So they aren't quite as fast as the fastest kinesins, but not as slow as the slowest kinesins. They're still the equivalent of 2 Usain Bolts. So it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense that this strategy never made it out of the nucleus to transport cargo. And that mystery honestly kind of delights me. It's another little bit of joy you discover when learning biology. Sometimes, through mechanisms beyond our current understanding, you find a little guy who ends up having the ideal body type for peak performance, even if you don't like it.